Jamaica's Sashalee Forbes impressed with 10.98. So, are Jamaicans sleeping on Sashalee Forbes? Plus, Fred Kerley is on a roll. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Go ahead, please hit the subscribe button so we can continue to go. When you do that, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops. To drop a video at least once a day here in Peter Lloyd World. Also, if you enjoy the content, please hit the like button. And finally, leave your thoughts after this sports analysis where we take a look at and we break down the races. So, ready? Yep, good to go. Well, Fred Kerley dominates in Yokohama. The reigning men's 100-meter world champion from the World Championships in 2022. Well, he ruled at the Seiko Golden Grand Prix in Yokohama. Fred Kerley clocked his fastest 100-meter opener ever with 9.88. So, well, but what's next? Yes, indeed, what's next? Kerley was very impressive in this race, people. I am no joke. He was pretty impressive. He looked really relaxed. He looked in full control, and 9.88 is a very impressive time. Like I said, all the top flight sprinters are just sort of getting into that zone. Now, speaking of top flight sprinters, now Jamaica has a plethora of unimaginably fast young ladies. But one of these young ladies has, in our opinion, been rising to the top, so to speak. And I kind of think that Jamaicans are kind of sleeping on her, you know the term? I mean, I think we're not really taking a very good look at Sashalee Forbes. Do you know what she just achieved? She had just achieved a new personal record, a new personal best in the women's 100 meters. This she did at the Bermuda Grand Prix, running an extremely impressive time of 9.98. Now, she didn't win. He did take that second spot. Tamara Davis of United States won this in a solid, very impressive 10.91, with Jamaica's Sashalee Forbes coming second in that new personal best of 10.98. Sarah Barnes of the US ran 11.01, a new season's best to take that third spot. And Jamaica's Kemba Nelson ran 11.14, also a season's best to take the sixth position. Now, the same Sashalee Forbes recently became the NACET New Life Invitational Women's 100-meter champion, running 11.17 in that final. That was just like a week ago. And she looked really good both in the prelims, or the heats, as well as the finals. Do you remember that race? We did cover this, but to refresh your memory, Forbes ran first in 11.17, with Kemba Nelson coming second in 11.27 and Tia Clayton third in 11.31, and she looked really good doing so. Now remember, people, it's still pretty early in the season. Take a gander.
More and more about her as she progresses in terms of her training.
Lane 5, Clayton, Forbes, Anderson, Baylark, and Parker. And a fair start with 3 Jamaicans in lanes 3, 4, and 5, and the Americans on the outside. And in the middle of the track, we've got good running from, looks like Sashalee Forbes of Jamaica, and it looks like she may be the one who got across.
Fantastic and good stuff there. Congratulations, lady. You've had a wonderful showing here in Grand.
Oh, I can see that there are some great talents out there. There is this young lady, Brianna Williams, who's finally getting back into form. I still think this young lady, Kevona Davis, is a factor. Kemba Nelson is slowly getting back into form. Then there's Brianna Liston, one of our favorites, as well as Ashanti Moore, who's slowly getting back into form, and not to mention Alana Reed, our fastest junior thus far, with that 10.92. And then there is Tina Clayton. Do not underestimate her. So, and that's just some of them. I mean, I've left out a substantial amount of young ladies who are pretty fast. And yes, some of these women, young ladies, already have a much faster PB. 10.92, as I mentioned, with Alana Reed. 10.94 with Brianna Williams. Then there is that 10.95 with Tina Clayton. But the fact of the matter is, look at the trajectory of Forbes. Remember what we told you about Alana Reed as she was getting faster and faster and faster. Go back and watch the videos. She ran 11.17, was pretty windy there. This was, of course, in the Bahamas, in the NACET, the NACET New Life Invitational. And then she came and ran when really pressed. She was trying to catch Davis. She ran a 9.98, a new personal best. I'm seeing a lot of potential here, and it is still relatively early in the season, people. Now, what we need is to have Sashalee Forbes running against that caliber of athlete. Now, okay, I'm going to concede at this point in her prep, 9.98 is good, but yes, you're going to say, Peter, there are people running, sorry, not 9.98, apologies, 10.98. If she was running 9.98, she'd be the fastest woman of all time. But I know you're going to say, people, there are people who are the world leading time now by Sha'Carri Richardson is 10.76. Of course, there's our own Sharika Jackson with that 10.82. There's 10.86, I think, from Aliyah Hobbs, and then there's Julian. I mean, there's a lot of really solid times out there. So for her to factor, she has to get somewhere at least down to a 10.93 minimum. But this bodes well. Sashalee Forbes, I've been watching her since the beginning of the season. She's getting faster and faster and faster and faster. And let me tell you something psychologically. Once you hit a sub 11 as a young lady and you are running a 9.98, believe me when I tell you, it impacts you psychologically. I think we're sleeping on this talent. This is another. Last year when I started to talk about Alana Reed, some of you said, "What are you talking about?" Last year when I said to you, Alana Reed is going to be remarkable. Several of you said, "What are you talking about?" I'm going to take a little. We need to see a few more races, but there are two things that just happened with her that are very important. One, NACET New Life Invitational Champion. Now, at the end of the day. Excuse me, in most instances, people don't really remember the time. I know we Jamaicans argue about the time, but at the end of the day, it's the win that matters. She's now the NACET New Life Invitational Champion with that 10.17 on the not the most ideal circumstance, if my memory serves me correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then she just ran a 9.98 a week after. Her confidence is going to go through the roof. You know, she just ran 9.98. I'm expecting something very special from this young lady. You may or may not agree with me, but if you are sleeping on Sashalee Forbes, I'm telling you that myself and the team, we're saying, wake up. Wake up. Wake up to this young lady. It's still early. 9.98 is a very solid time for her at this point in her prep. And if she can maintain this, she can get to the nationals and shock a lot of you. Do not sleep on that 9.98. Now, I'm just hoping that she has not hit like a high point or a peak. But this looks good to me. But this, of course, is my 2 cents. I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts. Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Remember, you're royals, kings, and queens. Bless up.